First of all, I didn't realize that we were actually very coordinating today. Like,
I dressed first, though.
he was dressed before me, but I didn't really realize that until we were here. We did not plan that. Like Brian said, my name is Alicia Davis, and this is my husband, Matt. We have 3 kids, Hudson, Ella, and Ava, that we'll try not to roast in this. But I will get started. A couple weeks ago, we got the dreaded text from Brian that we knew it would be coming, but he asked if we would share a story. And I really have been struggling with this over the last couple weeks of what in the world am I going to say? Because the truth is that I just feel like I'm average. And probably most of you in this room would share those same feelings. Like, I'm just average. I've lived this average life in, middle America. My dad was a farmer. My mom was a teacher. I grew up in church. And so I grew up in this Christian household in this average life. Church was never an option. We went every Sunday. We were plugged in at an early age to VBS and youth group and church camp. So I haven't really known a life without Jesus, which is amazing to be able to say that. I mean, that is the biggest blessing that any parent could give their kids, is that really strong foundation. And I just felt like I couldn't pinpoint that one big moment. Like, some of these stories that we've heard the past few Sundays, like, man, they've got a really good testimony. And I feel like I just don't know what my big testimony is yet. And then I thought, the more I thought about it, I thought a lot of you out here probably feel that same way. Like, who am I? I'm not that important. And it just reminded me that God had Jesus choose 12 really average people to walk alongside him. And I think that he knows that we feel these insecurities and we feel inadequate, but how are we gonna allow him to work through our average so that our average can reach the kingdom in really, really big ways? So I don't have a big story to share other than just be obedient through God. He's going to use each of us in a little different way, and those small little kingdom impacts will be huge to God. Those are so important. It doesn't have to be some big story, but just keep walking in faith and recognizing that you are valuable to God, and he sees you more worthy than you could ever imagine. And he sees your importance. And I didn't stick to anything that I wrote in this big font. Maybe because I was just worried about what I was going to come up here and say, and just being able to reflect God's love for me in an adequate way. But that's really my story.
Thank you. I will just note, yes, her font was very large compared to mine. Probably because she's a little older than myself. So being the younger spouse here, I'll pay for that later. So much like my better half just alluded to, identifying just one moment where we can recognize Jesus was writing a greater story you could ever have imagined is difficult. God has blessed us with amazing families, an incredible wife, intelligent, strong-willed, challenging children. They got that from their mother. So I'll try to make this quick and take a moment where I feel God's been pushing me to share. So we came to PCC in 2019 wanting to learn and to be fed. Our previous church life was show up, be involved, and go about our week. We didn't really want to be involved or become very active at PCC because we had just been burned at the church we attended for over 10 years as a family, and we didn't want to take on that burden. So we used that hurt as an excuse to keep everyone at arm's length, but God quickly turned that idea upside down, not only with COVID, but with what took place in the church in 2022 as well. It was at that time we could both feel God speaking. He had been prepping us for such a time as this. We're not called to just sit and be fed. We are to feed his sheep and serve those around us. God took this time to show us our children are always watching you, and if you want them to step up in times of need, you need to step up as well. As a father and a husband, I've been blessed with 2 perfect examples of fathers. I fall short daily of the examples they have set for me, but God blessed me with an amazing wife who is tremendous at filling shortcomings on a daily basis. Parents out here, I'm sorry to tell you, but there is no parenting manual that will have all the answers for you. It takes a team effort every day, and even then you will still learn most things are out of your control. The most important thing you can do is spend every morning and night praying over your children and surround them with a strong faith family. We can show them right from wrong, discipline them to get them to obey, but still, like ourselves, they get to make their own choices. Pray that they know and seek the Lord because of what He can do, not what we can do. It's been an absolute blessing for me to watch my son mature in his faith while inviting his girlfriend and friends into church. Quick side note, he does get his license this week, so you might want to stay off the road. Watching Ella push aside her fear and come up on stage to lead us in worshiping our King, and Ava to, without batting an eye, willing to step up and pray in front of any group. My family and my kids are not perfect. We make mistakes every day, but our God still loves us and shines His light on us because we serve Him. God has weaved a perfect family to surround my family and remind my children regularly how good He is. I could not have picked a greater group of friends and family to influence my children. It's been an absolute blessing to call all my church family. But no, God has had His hands all over orchestrating this group of individuals. As my kids continue to get older, and my wife younger, of course, I'm continually learning just how little control we have. Just like when we tried to break up in college, Alicia turned to me and said, "That's not happening." God is in control, and He will pursue us even when we don't feel worthy. If God would not have pushed us out of the comfortable pews in the church we'd been attending, our story may be different today. It was a story that only He could have wrote, and looking back 6 years ago, I could have never imagined all the blessings I just explained are standing in front of the congregation talking about all this. So thank you to the church, the elders, and Brian for continually pushing us to be bolder in our faith and give Him the glory. We are thankful for each and every family out here God has placed in this congregation. As Zach stated a few weeks ago, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. I challenge you to spend some time today reflecting in your own life and think about the family God has carefully knitted around you.